we are back. Sometimes on a Thursday, sometimes on a Wednesday. We're like Maction football. We don't know what night it's going to be on ESPN, but we know it's going to be one of the weeknights.
And when we come, we're bringing it. We're bringing it.
A lot of offense, a lot of defense, a lot of anger.
A lot of chaos. It's not going to make sense, but we're here.
The lines don't make any sense. We have no idea who's favored, but one team from Michigan is usually going to be in it.
Josh, I just want to say that it's just a great time right now for, I think, just all things television. There's a lot of good shows we have to talk about. There's a lot of good news, a lot of interesting news. Yes. The sports world is alive and well. Josh, your Pittsburgh Steelers are 5-2. Buffalo Bills are 5-2. Your Nittany Lions are undefeated. I was watching. I'm not even a Laker. I don't jinx it. Yeah. I don't want to. I'm not a huge Lakers fan, but I watched a little bit of the Lakers game last night. It was cool to see Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. were there to honor LeBron and Bronny, and it was cool to see them play together for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes out there. Bronny took a shot, almost made a three. Just a good time. A lot of good shows. It's a good time.
You're such a good participation, Dad. Of like, he almost made it.
He almost made it. I mean, he didn't look bad out there, but yeah, it's just a good time to be watching TV. I love fall too, Josh. I told you this is my season. Fall, winter. I live in LA. I shouldn't complain about the weather, but you know, Josh, you're from Pittsburgh. I'm from Buffalo area. I actually kind of miss fall. I miss the cool weather. So I love this time of year. I love when things start cooling down. Yeah, I'm all in.
You know, it's nice when you're, and thank you, Wiley OFC, for the very generous super chat.
Yes.
You guys can support the show. There's links below. There's a pinned there to Streamlabs. You guys are the best, no question, this week. Thank you, Wiley, for making us your pick of the week. But David,
yes,
there is sports on every night of the week. Hockey, NBA, NFL, college football. The World Series starts on Friday.
Yankees, Dodgers. I almost forgot. That's huge.
Yankees, Dodgers is gigantic. Yeah. We have golf, men's, women's. We have all of the sports. And not only that, there is really good TV on right now. Tulsa King season 2 might not be one of them, but we have really good. I don't know, David. We're going to get into Tulsa King. I promise you, guys on there. It's good to see everybody in chat. Hunter Gasway, his Longhorns took a tough loss. Yeah, that was a tough game, Hunter. I'm really, really sorry. A weird refereeing moment there in the what was that, like the third quarter, I think. That was a weird, and then the beer bottles started raining on the field. That's a very Cleveland thing to do,
or like Philly. I feel like Philadelphia, like throwing
very Philly thing to do.
Ice at Santa, you know, like booing Santa. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah.
Hey Santa, get stuck in the chimney, you jag off. MK Songbird says, anybody hear of the Pradeeps of Pittsburgh on Prime Video?
New show.
Stars Naveen Andrews from Lost. I thought it was an easy entertainment. Does it take place in Pittsburgh?
It's supposed to be good. Yeah, I forgot. I should have told you about that. Yeah, it's a family sitcom. It's supposed to be good. I know, Josh. Everything Pittsburgh, I should just immediately send you. Like, I should just send it to you. I completely forgot to send that to you.
David,
it is out. I know. I feel. But you can watch it. It's out. We should do a review next week. We'll review it next week.
You think I come on TV Talk to not talk in a Pittsburgh accent, David? Okay. Listen. Okay. I know Buffalo is like 3.5 hours north of Pittsburgh. Okay. But really and truly, we're very similar people. Okay. We like buffalo wings. We like meat on our sandwiches. We like football, and we like dudes named Josh. Okay. That's what we got. That's all we got.
Pittsburgh is blessed with more like pop culture, more entertainment takes place in Pittsburgh than Buffalo. I think Buffalo, we had the Truman Show. I believe Jim Carrey's character was an anchor, from Buffalo. And I think there was an episode of The X-Files that took place in Buffalo, but I don't think they filmed it in David.
Gotcha.
We just don't have, this is not a lot of, but there's a lot of Pittsburgh. There's some good Pittsburgh stuff out there.
A lot of Pittsburgh influence. Hey, David, you know where Ken Griffey Jr. is born? That's right, Pittsburgh.
Really? Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Donora, Pennsylvania. Not the best time.
Oh,
okay.
Well, he did okay for himself. He made it out.
Okay.
He made it out.
Okay.
He's doing great.
There are certain athletes on this planet that had an injury bug not taken the latter half of their career. We're looking at, Ken Griffey Jr. would have had 700 plus home runs. I think. I don't know if he does Barry Bonds like numbers because he didn't ever take the juice that we know of. Here's the funny part about Junior, right? Is that Ken Griffey Jr., skinny, one of the greatest swings ever in the history of baseball. But then he didn't get fat until he was done playing. He looks like he's taking juice now, as opposed to Barry Bonds, who started skinny and then he was like, the cream makes my head look.
Ken Griffey's probably, I think when you're some athletes, like they take their fitness seriously, like throughout their whole lives. Some guys just like, you know what? I put all this time in. I'm done. I'm just going to eat what I want. I'm relaxed and I'm retired. I'm good.
Well, he became a photographer, like a sideline photographer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He goes to basketball games, football games, baseball games. He's like a media credentialed member of the press with one of those like super long telephoto lenses. Kind of sick.
Josh, I'm going to say Jonathan Peck talking about Michael Keaton from Pittsburgh. As soon as I was watching football, was Monday Night Football, Josh? Sunday Night Football. And as soon as Keaton came on, I had to text Josh because I had no idea that Keaton was from there. I love the fact that he said there's trouble in Gotham, referring to the Jets and Aaron Rodgers and all that drama. So what an epic intro. That was such a good intro.
Did you watch any of his SNL?
I did not.
Okay. I watched like a few of the sketches. It was okay. I don't know. Yeah, like most things SNL, usually there's like one amazing sketch. The Nate Bargatze season premiere was incredible for SNL. But like, I feel like sometimes they either like waste the guest, or I feel like nobody came with good ideas and they picked the best of what they could. I don't know. Sketch comedy is very hard, especially on a weekly basis. But Michael Keaton is Batman. Okay, as we all know, he's also Birdman. But in my humble opinion, which I've been slandered for many a time, the 1989 Batman is the best Batman.
Oh, no. Classic.
You can say what you want about all of the Christian Bale ones, especially Dark Knight, which is an incredible feat in cinema, but it's not Michael Keaton. and we'll get into the Penguin, which we do want to talk about. And Daniel Sevilla says it's best. I just watch the SNL bits on YouTube. Yeah, like TikTok just feeds me the entire episode.
Same. If day. I do see any SNL, Josh, it's because somebody said check this out, and I go to YouTube and watch it. Yeah. I like we're getting into a Ken Griffey Jr. Argument. Oh, now Troy's talking about Mike Trout.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan Peck says the modern Ken Griffey Jr. right now in the MLB is Mike Trout. I would tend to disagree, mostly because Mike Trout, unfortunately, is buried in an Angels organization that couldn't give two shits about him.
I feel bad for him. Like Shohei got out.
Yeah.
And now he's in the World. A year later, he's in the World Series.
Yeah. And Troy says Trout's good and popular and all, but has nowhere near the culture impact Jr. had in the 90s. Shohei's a better comparison, in my opinion. Here's what I will say about Ken Griffey Jr. Great guy, great swing, whatever. Again, buried up in Seattle, right? At like the beginning of a Seattle baseball fandom, right? With guys like Jay Buhner and Edgar Martinez, and I mean, Randy Johnson was there at the same time. It seemed like every year they had a different uniform too. Ken Knapsack and I have talked about this. But the fact that Ken Griffey Jr. in Seattle, where most of his games were played while the East Coast was sleeping, he still was a day in and day out tune in for baseball fans. I can't say the same thing about Mike Trout. I feel bad for Mike Trout because he's awesome and you want him to win. But at the end of the day, I can't. It's like watching the Pittsburgh Pirates. I can't sit around every year hoping that we're going to be above 500. That's not fandom. It's not.
That's where I was with Buffalo for our 17-year playoff drought. I was about to give up until Josh Allen came around. Now I'm back, but I almost.
All you needed was a guy named Josh in your life, David. That's it.
Just needed a little hope. Josh, you mentioned some of the shows we're going to be talking about. There's also the English Teacher series that had its finale a few weeks ago. I think right after we did our last show. That was great. I know you don't watch it anymore, Josh. Only Murders in the Building. I'm still checking out. Season finale is next week. I think it's probably one of their best seasons since season one. Lots to talk about. There's a little bit of news that I want to hit up at the top real quick. Josh, I don't know if you ever got a chance to check out, but Parish was Giancarlo Esposito on AMC Plus. It was really good. It was.
You put that in the rundown. I did. Yeah. Can you explain Parish to me? It got canceled. But
very basic premise. Giancarlo Esposito is a driver. He used to drive for some unscrupulous characters, we'll say, had a rough life, got married, left it all behind. But then somebody from his past life comes back into his life, pulled me back in. It pulls him back in. He's mixed up in it, but it's just good. I think it's based off the series The Driver from the UK. I think that's what it was called. And it was really good. Giancarlo Esposito is always good. I'm sad it got canceled. It was a fun show. Easy watch. Super easy watch.
How many episodes was it?
Oh, like 8. I don't even think it was 10, like 8. Yeah. Not that you don't need to go back and watch it, but it was good.
I feel like some of these shows on AMC Plus, like for instance, Detroiters, which I think is one of the funniest shows of all time, is now finally on Netflix, right? And I've been rewatching. My brother and I, near the end of his life, we bought it on Amazon and we watched it a lot. I mean, that show kind of got my brother through the last few months with a smile on his face at point.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show you that like these major streamers, these conglomerates, like a show like Parish, right? Because it had such a minimal amount of eyeballs on it, that if it went to Netflix and did well somehow, if it got put on the front page and people got whenever like, oh, that's the guy from Breaking Bad, let's watch this, it could maybe get picked up for a second season somewhere down the line. And that's where I think is like, okay, AMC has this bastion of content, sell it to Netflix, and then see if your studio can make a little money by new eyeballs and Netflix saying, hey, let's make another season of it.
That's how Breaking Bad got big. I remember when they put those Breaking Bad episodes on Netflix in its final season, I think the finale did 10 million views, which for AMC at that time was huge. So it's too bad. It was a good show. Again, I'm not devastated, but it was entertaining. If this show was on Fox or NBC, it probably would have at least gotten picked up for another season. I mean, I think people would have tuned in for it. It was fun.
I mean, dude, if the show Tracker can get another season on CBS or whatever, I mean, right? Yeah. Not to say anything against Tracker. I think it's my wife's favorite show. But Troy makes a solid point back to the Mariners real quick. If you weren't finishing a swing one-handed with your hat on backwards, you weren't playing baseball in the 90s yet. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But on the Parish front is AMC, I feel like, came along at the exact right time, and it was almost like a really good band for 7 to 10 years, right? You had Mad Men, you had Breaking Bad, you had Walking Dead, 3 tent-pole shows, and I might be missing a couple in there that I'm not thinking of, but really and truly 3 shows that defined a 12-year period from around 2008, right? 2007 to 2016 was right when Glenn got hit in the head with the bat, is when we all ditched Walking Dead, right?
That's when that was season 5 or 6. Yeah, that's when I got out. Yeah,
the Walking Dead reviews on Collider were getting 180,000, and then Glenn dies and they were getting 40,000. People were that pissed about it. Fuck this show. Right. Excuse my language. But AMC is a victim of the streaming boom. Right? Yeah. They refuse to sell their content to a Netflix or an Amazon, or you had to buy it on Amazon, and they're like, oh, well, we'll just start AMC Plus and people will show up. No, they won't.
Yeah, and I think AMC, you see them doing that. They're putting some of their shows on Max now. So maybe, Josh, maybe when Parish will come out to Max, you can check it out. So if no one's checked it out, if you have a free week, a free month of AMC Plus, it's worth getting the free week and binging it. I thought it was really enjoyable, especially if you like Giancarlo Esposito. So
Daniel Sabuya saying that's a good show, and in New Orleans, I believe.
Yeah, it was. Sorry, it was in New Orleans. Yes,
it's called Parish. Which speaking of New Orleans, although I don't know if it because they never really say exactly where it takes place, but I watched that Rebel Ridge show or movie.
Yes,
dude, you know what that reminds me of a little bit? It's kind of like a Reacher movie.
Yeah, but it's a little bit Reacher. Yeah,
it has that Reacher vibe. He's trying to rescue the small town girl who is getting effed by the town, right? Mm-hmm. And he's just a badass that's a Marine ninja. Basically, that's he's a Marine ninja.
Yeah, it's basically Reacher. Yeah, I mean, small town, or what's that other movie? Standing Tall.
Yes,
with the Rock.
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall. That's it. Walking Tall.
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah.
Or was it Jason Statham? They both came out with a movie that was similar like that.
Small town, big guy comes in. Yeah. Beats everybody up. Yeah.
And I mean, talk about obviously.
There he is again.
Captain Handsome. I've been calling him the Handsome Lantern. Does that work for you? Handsome Lantern.
Yes.
He's great. I don't even know if he's acting, but when he beats people up, I mean, he ninjas the shit.
He does a pretty good American accent too. I don't know. He's British. Yeah, he does a good American accent. Yeah,
dude's got traps for days.
Oh, he's jacked. Yeah, looks great.
I mean, he's gonna look good in that lantern outfit, bud. I mean, he looks like an Incredible, for crying out loud. He looks like Samuel L. Jackson's son.
Frozone, is that his name?
Frozone son, Brozone.
Yeah, well, if they ever do a live action, which I'm sure they will. Disney's doing live action everything. If they're doing live action Incredibles, there's Frozone.
Yep, there's Frozone.
Josh, I had to ask you. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Josh.
I was like pleasantly surprised with how simple of a plot Rebel Ridge is and how good it was. And I will say, as somebody that had to suffer through those later seasons of Arrow simply for a job, right? The same fight sequences, he like hits you with a bow and arrow. The fact that Rebel Ridge, he's just like, I'm gonna bludgeon these people to death with my fists, is awesome. It's man, talk about that's a fun movie. I enjoyed that.
It is. I'm glad you watched it. So I was like, this is a Josh movie right here.
B. Howe nailed it perfectly, dude. First blood vibes in Rebel Ridge. Yes, done and done. Yeah. With MK Songbird say civil forfeiture is a fuckery. Is that from that movie? Did I know that?
It must be. Yeah.
MK Songbird says Aaron Pierre is very good in both this season of Genius as Malcolm X. Oh, and
I haven't seen this season. I only watched the first season of Genius, which was Einstein. I think that's all I've seen.
Yeah.
Then they did one, wasn't it Desperado and Puss in Boots? I'm blanking on it. Antonio Banderas. I think they did who's the famous artist? Right? He was Picasso. Yeah. They did Picasso. I might have watched an episode or two. I think they did Aretha Franklin too. I think. But I've only seen the first season.
Bardem was Picasso. Am I wrong?
Was it? I thought let me see.
Daniel Sabuya making a solid point here that Don Johnson has now played a racist, corrupt cop twice. The Watchmen and Rebel Ridge. I think like the older you get and the more you realize that Don Johnson is probably an asshole in real life, that like him as a racist cop is like, we buy it.
Josh, it was Antonio Banderas.
It was Banderas.
Yeah. And thank you, Bowie. Cynthia Revo. Talk about someone else. I mean, Cynthia's been having a moment for several years now, but I mean, she's got Wicked coming out. Good for her. Cynthia Revo's doing very well. Very well.
Wicked. And you called him Bowie 26. It's B. Howe.
Oh, B. Howe. Wow.
It's like
I thought maybe the H was silent. I thought maybe it was French. Sorry, B. Howe. Sorry.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin. Have you watched? Speaking of, because why do I feel like it takes place during Motown era? But the heist show, was it on Hulu with the?
No, it's on. You mean the Peacock one with Sam Jackson and Kevin Hart? Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting about it.
I think MK Songbird said we should watch it, but I feel like MK Songbird watches more TV than both of us combined. And
I really want to see The Day of the Jackal, which is I think it's Sky TV, but it's going to be airing on Peacock. It has Eddie Redmayne in it. It's based off, the Jackal movie that came out years ago with Richard Gere and Bruce Willis. Yeah, I think it's that story, just a modern adaptation of it. So that looks really cool. That's coming on Peacock next month.
I mean, David, we're only a month and a week away from Die Hard season.
I know. Oh, Josh, I forgot to tell you. That's it. There's a new Die Hard-esque movie coming out. It's got your boy in it, Mr. Apple TV himself, Taron Egerton. Is that how you say his name?
From Blackbird?
Yeah, from Blackbird. It's a Christmas movie, I think themed, and he's a TSA agent. Oh. And Jason Bateman is the bad guy.
Oh,
and he's setting him up like there's something that's like if he doesn't do something, he's gonna kill a bunch of people at the airport basically, or something like that. It looks cool. It's gonna be a Netflix movie. Maybe MK Songbird can chime in with the name of it. But again, Josh, that's right up your alley. Looks very good.
Apparently, I saw a headline. Maybe it was an Instagram that was that the Hallmark Channel is releasing 32 Christmas movies this year. New Christmas movies.
Good for them. Good for them.
I want to know like how big the DVD like the Hallmark DVD collection would be. Like if you went to Best Buy and there was like, hey, buy the 2000s on DVD of Hallmark Channel, it might be like an entire bookshelf of DVDs.
It's insane.
Like our buddy Tanner Novlin's going to be in a movie.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. Yes.
Yeah.
When Michelle was, we were in the hospital, right before Miles was born. It was in November. His birthday's coming up soon. And thank you, MK Songbird. Movie is carrying on. Yes, very excited for that.
Cobra Kai Part 2 trailer came out. Kate Van D says, okay. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, all we did was just watch
Yeah.
That's all that was on TV was Hallmark. I think we watched maybe 10 different Hallmark movies over the course of the 4 or 5 days we were there, and they're all the same.
When's Miles' birthday?
He's November 12th.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's when all the Hallmark movies are starting to air, and they're all the same. Somebody comes in from out of town, they left home, they grew up in a small town, they bump into somebody they haven't seen in 20 years, and then there it is. There's your story.
Done and done. And it's all shot in Canada, but it can be any town USA.
Any town USA. Yes.
I want to do like Hallmark Christmas movies that are like a little trashy. Not the plot itself.
Like Skinamax?
No. That's hysterical though. Like Christmas. No. What I'm saying is like I want to do Christmas movies that have like people from real parts of America. Like, dude, I came home to Pittsburgh and my high school girlfriend thought she was so cool. She moved to New York. She comes back with her like new hottie toddy at New York boyfriend. But he like, dude, I mean, I work construction, my dad's company. We're doing okay. I hung the lights on her parents' houses. Her mom was sick, but they've got the accents like dope Boston accents, really trashy, like Long Island, New York accent. I don't want it to be, like non-regional dialects. I want to be like, oh, welcome to Wisconsin. Oh, you're home now, are you? Oh, let's milk some cows there. Yeah, just like that.
Josh, I was curious if you've ran into her in your time in Hollywood. Do you know who's like the queen of the Hallmark movie? She was in
Brooke Burns.
No, she's younger. She's more our age. She was in Mean Girls. And she's in all those movies.
Yes, Lacey Shea Bear.
Do you know her? Have you met her? I was just okay. I figured you because I feel like we're all about the same age. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an I mean, honestly,
she seems super nice. Yeah.
Sweetheart. One of the
really nice.
Just a very, very sweet human. All three of those girls from what's it called? From Mean Girls. All the plastics. Lindsay Lohan. I never really had much interaction with Lindsay Lohan, but I interviewed Rachel McAdams for like 3 different press junkets, and she might be the kindest. By the third one, she knew me. She was like, "Oh my God, welcome back!" Like she was such a nice person.
Yeah.
I only got to like sort of interact with the other one, Amanda Seyfried. I did a DVD release of Mamma Mia. The first Mamma Mia, and she was kind of like out of it, but Meryl Streep was there, which was like the coolest thing on the planet. When you're around Meryl Streep,
that's big time. That's big time.
Yeah. Tom G in the chat, welcome, my friend. Scott Welsh saying it best. I think Hallmark Christmas movies keep BC film industry in business. And I do want to come back to Scott Welsh real quick. He said the Canucks are playing the Penguins in Vancouver this weekend. He's on the fence to go see Sid. Let me tell you this right now, Scott, if you've never seen Sid in person, go now, because I don't know how many years he's got left in the league. And I would love to see another playoff run with him, but the Penguins are old and we don't have goaltending. So you might want to go see him now. Well, he's still really good. You might want to go. Just saying. Here's Tom G's. I want to see Hallmark try to make a Christmas horror TV movie. Remember when Hollywood would put out one horror movie for Christmas? Could you imagine a Hallmark Christmas horror movie? First of all, they're not going to do that because people like my mother are watching. But a channel like maybe a Reels or I'm trying to think. Like, give me.
Oh, there's a horror channel. I think AMC owns it. It's one of those streamers.
Oh, really?
I can't think of.
Okay, yeah, but. I'm obviously not a horror fan, so I'm not going to get too.
Shutter. That's it. I think that's AMC. I think AMC owns. Yeah, Shutter.
DDLD popping in there with Shutter. Mm-hmm. I saw one. It's like Santa's ripped, and it's what's his name? The guy from Whiplash. And
that's the Amazon one. Red One. It's coming out. Yeah,
Red
with
One.
The Rock. Yeah, Red One. Yeah,
is it The Rock that's in it?
It's The Rock. It's Chris Evans. You got The Rock. You got Captain America. You have J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons plays
J.K.
Santa.
Simmons.
There you go. Yeah. MK Songbird says there's also Scream Box, which I'm not signing up for that.
No, that is not a channel for you, Josh. No.
If I'm not signing up for AMC Plus, David, I'm not signing up for
Shutter Scream Box. Yeah.
Okay. Enough Scream in my life. The Creep series coming out on Shutter next month. What the is Creep? Besides dudes I went to college with.
Creep. Must be a franchise of some kind. I don't know.
So, Creep. Remember that movie Crawl about the alligators? All right, let's go into some more news.
Yeah, Josh, so I guess I can put these two together I want to talk about Yellowstone, Severance, and just shows being off the air for a long time. I'm also just thinking, this is all kind of coming to me right now. I'm also thinking of Stranger Things, which they're filming, or of Raptors. I know it's like, if a show's been off the air for like, do you care anymore? Even Yellowstone, which I enjoy Yellowstone. I don't.
Me too.
I think the fact that we know Kevin Costner didn't film any new scenes for this part of the season. He's kind of off the show because he's off doing his Western epic for Warner Brothers. Like, I don't know how much I really care about it anymore. If I can't tell if I'm excited about it, I don't know. Maybe when it comes out and I start watching it, I'll get back into the world again. Like Severance too. I'm excited for it, but it's been so long. I almost forgot what happened in season. I don't have time to go back and watch the first season. I don't know.
So that show franchise, which we love, reminds me sort of like the Taylor Sheridan TV universe. And this is how I'm going to say it, right? Is a show like Breaking Bad knew when it was supposed to end. A show like Better Call Saul knew when it was supposed to end. A show like Mad Men knew when it was supposed to end. Notice I'm saying a lot of AMC shows here.
They ended at the top, like when they had their the top.
A show like Veep knew when it was supposed to end. Unfortunately, a show like Sopranos had they lost a lot of writers. David Chase was really hard to work with. If you watch that the Wise Guy documentary that HBO did, which I thought was spectacular, kind of goes into that, is that I think Taylor Sheridan, obviously when you are making so much money and they are throwing so much money at you, and you have like how many shows on the air does he have right now? 7, 9?
I mean, it's basically Paramount Plus is Taylor Sheridan and Star Trek. Right. Basically. I mean, it's Star Trek franchise and Taylor Sheridan shows. That's what they are.
And the UEFA Champions League, basically.
And the UEFA Champion, and some golf sprinkled in here.
Golf,
and some sports,
But Taylor Sheridan has this unbelievable ability to do an incredible first season of television. Like, he might be the greatest pilot writer ever, or at least of the last 15 to 20 years.
He's an idea guy. Great ideas. Yeah.
Right? And then he leaves it to the writers, and there's not enough wherewithal, like Bible kind of a thing, because you start losing the plot, and then you start getting the characters just becoming caricatures of themselves. Right. And I think Yellowstone fell very victim to that, because I don't care about any of the characters anymore. I really don't care about the ranch, and I don't really care about the plot at all, because I don't know, like, who are we rooting for?
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I forgot what the plot is. I feel like maybe Severance, I have a little more. I know you didn't get into it, Josh, but I'm a little more excited about that one because it was such like a fresh story, a new thing that I hadn't seen. It was something different, and it's just. I know it wasn't their fault that they're late. I mean, they had the writer's strike. There's a lot of stuff happened. I get it, but with Yellowstone, it's like Stranger Things for me. Like I'm not excited about it. Like, when it comes out, it's going to be this huge cultural thing. Everybody's going to watch it. Yes, I'll check it out, but I'm not like anticipating it. It's just been so long.
It's been so long. I mean, and I hate to say it because obviously I love Michael Keaton and he's the greatest Pittsburgher of all time. But nobody was asking for another Beetlejuice. I don't know anybody that saw it. And the people that I know that like loved the original Beetlejuice are very few and far between.
Yeah. I saw it. I did, Michelle and I, because we do like the first one, but it was definitely, it can't match the original. The original is can't match the original.
Jonathan Peck, I'm surprised that there is no new Star Trek shows on the Paramount Network, not Paramount Plus. Either one, I think they're too expensive and they don't push a big enough number.
Yeah.
Star Trek has a very small audience. I know that a lot of the people that watch our stuff love it, and we know a lot of people that love it, but that number is small. You have to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough right now. I mean, even Star Wars, as massive of a franchise as that is, like, there hasn't been a new Star Wars movie in years. They had all these ideas. I think the Game of Thrones guys had a thing. Rian Johnson had a trilogy. There was Kevin Feige had something going on. It's just even Star Wars is struggling. I mean, it's just all these big franchises. There's too much. It's too much.
Totally.
It's too much.
And DDLD kind of says better. I feel the same about Tulsa King. I enjoyed the first season. Already bailed on the second season. I'm sort of with you, DDLD. I'm sort of with you. Like, sometimes when I watch these mob shows, the mobsters are so greedy, and I know it, like, but like, hey, can't we all make money and like not murder each other? Like, I want 98%. You can't have nothing. Oh my, blah, blah, blah. Like, hey, how the fuck? Like instead of starting a war and murdering everybody, it's like, hey, you owe me tribute. Okay, great. I'll pay you that. And then we can be business partners together and we'll all get along instead of murdering people. And then the feds show up, you big dumb idiots. What are we doing, David? Anyway,
it's good. I like what I do like about Tulsa King is I like that it looks like Sylvester Stallone's having a lot of fun. He's just enjoying himself. It looks like everybody on the show is just. It looks like one of the most laid back sets in Hollywood right now. Everybody like, and maybe that's not great because I don't know if they're really trying that hard, but it looks like everybody's having a good time. Like Stallone's just being himself. I mean, it's still a fun show. You know what I like about it, Josh? It's easy to watch. Like I watched an episode the other night. It was like a 38-minute episode. I love it. 38 minutes in and out. So I'm still watching it, but I don't know. I'm still going on it. I like it.
Let me ask you a question. And this is coming from two bald men. Okay. Two very handsome, lovely, entertaining, kind, energetic bald men. Stallone's fucking wig is brutal.
Is that a wig?
Oh, what, David?
Well, not every guy's gone bald. I mean, some guys keep their hair. I mean,
that hairline is insane.
Oh, it's a wig. Oh no!
And like it's like you can see where they put him in. It takes me out of some scenes. I'll be honest.
Well, now I can't unsee it. Now when I watch other episodes, all I'm gonna look at.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough. It's tough, and he's pretty good. It's a DDL day. It's a terrible wig. It's brutal. It is brutal, right?
I didn't know he had a wig. I didn't pay attention to it. I thought he just had a very nice head of hair for an older man.
No. What's up, Till the Roach Studios? We are here every other week. And there's a lot of videos coming out on this channel. You can watch. We're talking TV and talking all kinds of stuff in between. And Jonathan Peck did like Beetlejuice. And Scott Welsh is saying it's nearly $200 in the upper deck to see Sidney Crosby. Well, he does have 3 Stanley Cups, and he is the greatest player of the 21st century.
Yeah, we could have a whole talk about how expensive. I'm going to the Bills-Rams game on December 8th out here in LA at SoFi, and the tickets, it's insane. I mean,
I think I'm going to Pittsburgh for Steelers-Ravens December 8th, same day. And tickets are not cheap, but
not cheap.
Not cheap.
My wife asked me, like, how much are they? I'm like, it's a couple car payments. It's a couple car payments. It's not cheap. I just do it. It's like my once a year, thing.
You got to see your team.
I see my team. I see them once a year. It's just once a year.
Got to make memories, David. You know, I know
you only live once. Yeah.
Yeah, and all the shit I've been through over the last year to 6 years for crying out loud is that you can't take it with you, and you got to make memories, right? I saw this Instagram post that hit me like right in the feels. Is like, your kids are your best friend until they're like 10 or 11, maybe 12, and then they have friends and they have best friends and they get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever. And then you are just the person, you're their parent and they love, but you're kind of annoying. They don't want to hang out with you that much. They're making their own. So like, make the memories now. Like I get to take Rosie. I mean, I'm kind of unemployed at this point, but I get to take Rosie, to gymnastics on Tuesday, and we go to In-N-Out afterwards. And, you got to make those memories. Money doesn't go with you forever. And you told me in 2006 that my brother was going to be sick in 2017. We would have done all the things. We would have done all of the things. And I don't have any of that time to get back. I don't, and make the memories, man. Go see your team. It's at the end of the day, stuff is stuff, but memories are what keep us kind of going, right?
Yeah.
If that's any indication, is like, my nephew, we went to see Penn State USC at the Coliseum 2 weeks
ago. Great seats too. I saw your you got an Instagram story there.
Incredible seats.
Great seats.
One of Ben's best friends was there with us, and his 2 kids and his wife, and my sister-in-law and my niece and my other little niece, and my nephew Luke is, diehard Penn State, lives and breathes Penn State football, right? He loves the Steelers. He loves his sports. And he was sobbing at halftime. We're down 23-6. I mean, we're getting absolutely manhandled. And when we came back and we won that, we were both crying. It was it was awesome. It was one of the coolest football games I've ever been a part of. It's really, really sad that my brother wasn't able to be there to share with him, but the fact that I got to share with his kids and his wife, and those are the memories that stick out. I tell my dad all the time. He's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" I was like, "Let's go do something." let's go play around a golf someplace nice. Let's go, like, let's do the things, right?
Yeah.
You're not getting any younger. I'm not getting any younger. I have enough shirts and jerseys and stuff. I don't need any more stuff. I want more memories is what I want.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's hard not to, this last point, it's just, I was, like you guys know, I was in Dallas a couple of weeks ago with my dad. We go on our yearly golf trip. We try to do it every year when we can. And we were at a restaurant somewhere having a drink, and this older guy came up, and he was with one of his family members, and we started talking, and he kind of, put his hand on, my shoulder and said, like, make sure you cherish this with your dad. Like, like that doesn't, because I mean, my dad's 75. I hope he's here for 30 more years, but you never know. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I try to take those times and enjoy them when I can. I'm sure David, I take it for granted, but I try not to, but I know I do.
The sad thing too, my guy, is that your dad is 75. My dad just turned 76. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He might be alive for a long time. I hope he is, but he's not going to be real mobile later in life.
Yeah.
Right. Like my grandma's 95. She's in a home. She's got dementia really bad. She can't really move around. So enjoy it now, man. Yeah. Enjoy it while you got it, because eventually one of these days I'm going to swing so hard my back's going to pop out and be really upset, and then I'm going to have to start watching golf and not playing it, or just riding around the cart and drinking,
Right. Just yelling at people.
Hey, pick it up. Yeah, let's go.
Josh, you would be a great ranger. Your job, like when you retire, whatever, later on in life, just become a ranger at a golf course.
I'm telling you right now,
you'd be the best ranger.
I'm working to retire as a ranger. I'm going to be a marshal at Pebble Beach. That's what I'm going to do. I've already started applying to it. Guys, let me just do it. Right?
You'd be great. Josh, forgive me real quick. I just want to nerd out real fast on the last couple pieces of news. There's a video game series called God of War. Very, very popular PlayStation series.
Movie with our buddy.
There's been no movie, but Amazon is developing a TV series.
Okay.
Based on it, and they just they reset the showrunner, the producer room. They had some people around. They just changed over. Now they're going to use Ronald Moore, who's the showrunner for Battlestar Galactica, the newer version of it. He's been the showrunner for Outlander. He's one of the better TV writers out there. Very good TV writer. It's a cool show, Josh. It's about Kratos, who at one point was the Greek god of war. Yeah, there's the video game. Yeah, and then he moved. Then he changed realms, and then he's over in Norse mythology world where there's Thor and Odin, and he has a son, and it's going to take place not in the Greek side of his story, the kind of the early games, but the later games, the last two games that have come out where it takes place in Norse mythology. So it's a really cool, so it's a good father-son story. I think you'll dig it. And then one more thing, Josh, I want to hit on real quick is there's a Harry Potter show coming out in a couple of years on Max, but they're basically doing a book a season. So what I'm really curious of the show more than anything is that who are they going to cast? That cast is so iconic.
So wait a second. I thought that this was like old Harry, and they were going to cast.
No. They're redoing the books. They're just going to redo it. I don't know. I mean, I know why they're doing it because it's money. It's popular, but they're redoing the books. They're redoing the story. Gary Oldman already said that he would come back if they cast him as Gandalf. Gary Oldman's like, I'll do it, but I want to be Gandalf this time.
Dumbledore.
Wow. Why did I say Gandalf? Wow. Lord of the Rings. That was really bad. And I have this. What's sad, Josh? Here,
you almost lost your nerd card there, pal.
Nerd card. I have all of these Harry Potter illustrated books. I just mixed up Gandalf, so I apologize for that, Harry Potter fans. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Are you reading those to Miles?
Miles' attention span isn't that great, so we're not reading Harry Potter. This is more for me. But sorry, Ronald D. Moore. Harry Potter's coming to HBO, I think in 2026. Yeah, they're going to redo everything, redo it. But my thing, and people are commenting right now, who's going to play Harry? Who's going to play Hermione? Ron. I mean, they have to, that cast, they're still iconic. I mean, when you see,
they're not dead. They're like 10 years older than they were in the movies.
I know, but they're just going to recast everybody.
No, I know. What I'm saying, David, is why do this?
I'm going to watch. The only thing that I'm really excited about is because it's going to be episodic. Extended. They can do every single storyline in the book. They don't have to cut anything out, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that show, those characters are like, they're ingrained. Every time I see Emma Watson, I'm like, that's Hermione. It's just, I don't know. Feels too soon.
Riley OFC. was maybe my favorite comment all time. I love Harry Potter so much. It's my favorite, and I hate this idea.
Yeah, I just don't. I wish they would do new stories, like do something new.
Yeah, agreed. That's what, because I thought it was going to be Daniel Radcliffe as adult Harry chasing down bad people.
That exists. There's a play. It's called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Yeah, it's a play. You can, I think it's going to be at the Pantages. It's in London, of course. And that is a continuation. Harry has a kid and, they're older. Like, they could make that movie now because they're that age. But
I mean, how much money do this throw Daniel Radcliffe to be Harry Potter again? What is he doing? What is he doing?
He's doing art. He's doing indie and he's doing plays. He's not. Yeah, he's made enough money, I guess. But I don't know. That's just, I don't know. I'm curious to see who they're going to cast and what it's going to be like. I have no idea.
Tilda Roach Studios says the eye patch dude from House of Dragons, Ewan Mitchell, would make a great Snape. Don't disagree. Ooh. I think he'd also make a great Lucius Malfoy. Would be pretty good. MK Songbird saying Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter came out 23 years ago. I understand that, MK Songbird, but you know what came out like 10 years ago? The last Harry Potter. There's a lot of them. It's like, it's not even 10 years old. It's not even 10 years. This is like if you
just recast them. They're like 11 again. Yeah. Radcliffe has to be 11 again.
What the fuck is happening? This is like, David, you graduate high school, you go to college, you're like going back to high school. You're like, you can't do that. You're like, yeah, I'm doing it. But with a whole different cast of friends. I'm now older, little less hair, a lot more body hair, and I have a college education. Tilda Roach Studio, I get the reaction, Macuga, but if you think about it, they missed out Barry in the films. I don't know what that means.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff they had to cut out. So yeah, I'm curious.
Will work with Rowling, with J.K. Rowling. The Driver would be a solid Snape. Don't disagree. I think Radcliffe won an Emmy or a Golden Globe. Did Daniel Radcliffe win an Emmy? Golden Globe?
Not for Harry Potter.
Not for Potter.
I don't think Daniel has. He's done he's at a point where he can kind of do whatever he wants. So he's had some interesting acting choices that he's done. I don't think he has any awards. No, so he has been nominated for an Emmy. He was for what? Now I'm curious. What the heck was he nominated?
Now I'm curious.
This is great podcasting, going down the rabbit hole here.
Yeah. Was it for that show on TNT where he was like where he was like in
time? The Weird Al Yankovic story. I forgot about that. That's right. He did that. That was just last year. Or he was nominated last year. Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah, the Weird Al Yankovic story.
Way to go, Harry. 10 points for Gryffindor.
Yeah.
You know that story at Princeton, right? With Emma Watson? You know that story?
No.
So she's at Princeton and she's in a class and she answered a question right in class and somebody screamed out from the back, 10 points for Gryffindor.
Was she mad? Or did she laugh? I wonder what her reaction was.
I don't know, but that story's incredible. I mean,
just good. Yeah. That's great.
That is yeah. Okay. Let's talk the Penguin. Let's talk the Penguin a little bit. Okay. Okay, you haven't watched the most recent one, and I will say,
no, I'm still catching up. But I did see episode 4, which seems to be like the big one that everybody. That's like the Emmy. That's like going to get Kristen her Emmy nomination. Yeah, that's the big one. That's the one. I did see 4.
Okay. I will say my emotions for this show have gone very up and down. At points, I'm like, "Is this good? Is this good?"
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Okay, this is awesome." And then I'm like, this is good. And I'm like, this is awesome. So I've gone in this huge roller coaster mode. Like, look, I'm the Penguin. Okay. He's kind of like doing a Bobby Cannavale. Have you noticed that nobody else in the show has an accent? And then every now and then, Sophia Falcone, Kristen Milioti will like drop into an accent and then pop back out.
Yeah, she does the New York. She does the New York accent every now and then. But like Michael Kelly, who plays the constant whatever he is, like he doesn't have an accent. Like, I'm confused.
That classic actor that was the guard in Shawshank, he doesn't have an accent. They're all supposed to be like, even Mark Strong, who played Carmine Falcone in that one scene, he didn't have an accent. So you're saying only 2 people in all of Gotham that we have seen thus far have an accent.
Yeah.
That's it. And the Penguins is so friggin' thick. Me and my brother used to come down here all the time. This is back in the day. Like,
I find myself, I mean, episode 4, I think, was the most riveting episode from start to finish. But there 100%. Are times when I'm watching the show, I am maybe checking my phone every now and then. Like, I'm kind of feeling the time. This is a horrible comparison because I think Penguin's probably a little bit better. But as bad as cheesy as Tulsa King can be sometime, it's nice to have, like I said, that 38, 42 minute runtime. But when shows are pushing 55 minutes to an hour, and it's not, there's some downtime in the episode. So I'm with you, Josh. There are times where I'm like, the show's great at times, but then I don't know. I'm not all the way there yet. How was episode 5? Is it compared to episode 4? Because I haven't seen it yet.
It's definitely a setup episode for 6. It is very frantic, if you know what I mean. It has like a very ticking clock. Like you kind of feel it's dark. It's as dark as the Penguin himself as Oz has gotten, right? And it's good. Okay, for episode 1, solid. Episode 2 and 3, okay, as a setup for 4.
Yeah.
Right. I think at points, and they even say it in the dialogue of the show, Oz, you're spinning too many plates, which I agree with, because there are so many friggin' plot lines in this show that it's hard to know who's who and who's doing what for who and why, which is tough, right? That's something that The Sopranos suffered for near the end of the show. It was like, there's just so many storylines. Like Tony, anyway, that I don't know if I feel bad for Oswald, if I'm rooting for him, or if there is anybody in the show I like. Because we got episode 3 of seeing how they destroyed Kristen Milioti, or was that 4? Was it 4?
It was 4. I think it was 4. Yeah.
Yeah. When she's stuck in Arkham for those 10 years and they basically destroy her brain and they turn her into. Now, is she an actual villain in the comics? Like, is this created from the show?
I mean, Falcone is a character. Her dad, definitely a character in the comic books. I don't know about his daughter. She could be. I'm just not. My Batman knowledge is
okay.
I know the big players. Yeah.
Yeah. If anybody in the chat knows, and Troy says, I'm bought in on Penguin. Colin Farrell is just ridiculous. I have a hard time not seeing celebrities instead of their roles. Sometimes every episode I forgot he's not just the Penguin. Yeah. You can't tell it's Colin Farrell. I'll say that straight up. Like you don't know that's Colin Farrell. It's an acting masterclass, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long he spends in the makeup chair before each episode, but I would, if I was him and they put that makeup on me every day, I'd start freaking out.
But like, that's the thing. It's like, he's great, but it's some of the secondary characters. Like I mentioned Michael Kelly. He's one of the best character actors in TV. He was in Jack Ryan. He's in Lioness season 2's coming out. He's in that show. He was in, but he feels not miscast. It just feels like he's in a different show.
Who, Michael Kelly?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like I think that's the thing. Some of the characters I think Penguin and Sophia feel like they're in the same show.
Yeah.
I just feel like some of the other characters, they feel like they're in different shows. I don't know. It's a little disjointed at times, but I agree. Troy, or whoever said they're on the show, the performances are all
awesome.
Like, great. They're all great. Yeah. Colin Farrell definitely should be nominated for an Emmy for this, for sure.
I agree. And apparently Sophia is in the comics.
Okay.
Troy said, also got to think Kristen Milioti isn't just going to be the mother anymore. Is that a person?
I see it. I know like the Joker. I know Two-Face. I know Bane. I don't know like I don't know all the
these
I'm not sure.
These lower tier villains, but just like ancillary villains.
There's too many. Yeah,
too many. There's a lot. You're spinning a lot of plates on.
And also too, again, we're talking.
She was How I Met Your Mother and How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Here's the mother.
I was going to say too, going back to our conversation earlier about shows being off the air for too long. Even the whole thing with Gotham, I did because Michelle and I were watching. She's like, well, what's up with this flood? And I'm like, well, do you remember at the end of the Batman when the city flooded? I mean, they show you flashbacks, but again, it's like I think it takes place just days after the events of the end of the Batman movie, after the flood. Yep. But if you haven't seen the movie in I don't know how long it's been, 3 years, 2 years, whatever it's been, it's like, wait, what happened at the end of Batman again?
And can I point out how much money they spent on rain for the movie and how little they spent on rain for this show? Because it hasn't rained once.
Yeah.
It hasn't rained once in Gotham.
And with all the And I get that, like Arrow, I know I would be shocked if we saw Robert Pattinson. We're never going to see Robert Pattinson.
No.
It's not a Batman show, and that's fine. I don't need to see Batman, but all these shows, it's like the Avengers spinoff stuff with Shield. Remember Agents of Shield? The show's way better than that, but it's just like they don't even really mention Batman. Like they talk about crime and what's going on in the city, how the city's evolving, but it's like, what about that masked vigilante who's messing up all of your plans? Like no one's talking about it. I don't know. It's just,
Kate Von D saying no ice either for a Penguin show. Yeah.
Oh, the Iceberg Lounge. Yeah. Iceberg Lounge.
The Iceberg Lounge. There you go. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I'm with you, man. Like I've always had that issue with, okay, the Avengers up everything. There are space aliens, there's a Thanos, but hey, let's do a little side quest with the Arrow guy.
Yeah.
Let's do a little like, hey, you messed it up. You messed it up.
Yeah.
The Batman is there. And like, okay, he's chasing. Does it always have to be like a drug situation? Like the Bliss thing was
they did that with in Batman Begins, Scarecrow. Yes. I don't remember if it was a drug, but it was that gas.
Yes.
Remember, it made everybody hallucinate and freak out. That's right. There was that drug. Yeah. And Batman Begins. That's right. Yeah.
Jay, I like the police captain with the hoarse voice came back. He was in the movie. Yeah, he was pretty good. That's so weird. I ain't seen Johnny Vitti around.
Johnny Vitti. I love the names. The names are like so classic, like Godfather, some like Johnny Vitti.
Yeah. I don't want to give away the end of episode 5, but she changes her last name to something even more Italian.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The DDLD with a good question. I was talking with friends. Would Batman just be ignoring all of what's happening since these are all bad guys killing each other? So far, no civilians have taken a hit, right? Yeah.
I mean, B. Howe said that Batman's a little busy. Like, yeah, it's true. He's a busy guy. And I think, to be fair, if we're going to get really, really technical, I think Matt Reeves' version of Batman, I want to say he's in like year 2. He's pretty young. Like he's a young Batman. So he's still figuring out, what his goals and motivations are. So he's not super experienced yet. But
I just like every time I tried to watch that Batman movie, I'm trying to look for something to do the impression, but like he had like the hat low and then he just like, like he'd have a hood or like a hat and he'd like look up and there'd be rain everywhere and he'd be like, not this. Like
Pattinson's really good at doing emo though. He can do emo.
So good.
He's very good at emo. Yeah.
Like can somebody just make a Dashboard Confessional movie where he's the lead singer or whatever the most famous emo band of all time is? Just have him be that.
Screaming infidelities in the background. Yes.
Yeah.
That's yes.
I don't wanna. Yeah. Just. Troy said, I saw someone make the point that it's still a relatively rookie Batman. You could say, yeah, that's kind of, and Gotham's like a third world country after the flood. They say in episode 1, crime has exploded. Yeah, I get that. It's sort of like Hurricane Katrina, right? I just, here's the thing. It's not bad enough that I'm tuning out.
No.
It's not great enough that I'm putting it in like, oh, my must watch situation. Right. It's really kind of middle, and this is the problem I always have with Oscar movies. Okay. Is somebody's like, well, the movie stunk, but the performance was incredible. That you need both. I'm sorry.
You do. I agree. Yeah.
Right. So they're wasting this unbelievable performance by Colin Farrell and this just awesome performance by Christine Milioti. Right. For a show that's decent. It is cartoonishly gangster at points, and that's the problem I have. But then it's awesome at points. Unfortunately for me, it's shot and the stylization of it and the way it looks is very comic booky, and so that takes me out of it a little bit.
I know we're getting a little low on time. I just want to say real quick sidebar. If anybody out there, Josh, I've watched this. You don't have to. Just to go off what you just said here, Apple TV Plus has a new show out called Disclaimer. It is kind of all those things you mentioned. It is Alfonso Cuarón, the director of Y Tu Mamá También, Gravity, Children of Men, Emmanuel Lubezki, three-peat best cinematographer for Gravity, Birdman, and The Revenant. That's their show. The show it's probably the best looking TV show I've ever seen.
Sure.
It has Cate Blanchett. It has Kevin Kline. It has Sacha Baron Cohen.
Crazy.
I watched 3 episodes and I just don't care. I would recommend you not watch it. The show is so pretty that sometimes it looks CG. There's these shots in Venice, Italy, and anyway, what I'm saying is it's a great production value. The show feels very weighty. It feels like this is an Emmy show. Like this show needs to be nominated for all the Emmys.
Okay.
But like, I'm not connecting with it. I don't know. Did I fall off, Josh? Oh, my computer went dark. I'm still here. I'm just not connecting with it. So that was my, I don't know. I would just say it's not my favorite show. I don't know if anybody else is watching that show, but
Chase said I gave up on disclaimer because of the terrible young actors at the start. I mean, young actors are tough. Yeah. Apple TV is doing, I don't know if it's by far the best service, Tilda Road Studios, but Shrinking is awesome. This season has been a great follow-up. Yeah. Really enjoy it. They have very few misses of the shows that I've seen. They have very few misses, Apple TV. But yeah. Okay.
What's Leo? Who's Sean Penn's ex-wife? What's her name? Jenny's not in there. There's no Jenny. Who's Sean Penn's ex-wife? Leo saying leave the show alone. Oh, yeah, Robin is Robin in there, Leo? I'm only on episode 3. Did Robin Wright show up? I must have missed her. I'm guessing Sean Penn had another wife. So
yeah, I need MK Songbird, MTV, Apple TV better renew Pachinko for a 3rd season. I need to watch this Pachinko, huh?
It's got great reviews. People seem to love it.
Madonna in this Alfonso Cuarón show?
I'm confused. Lilia George, Vincent D'Onofrio's daughter.
Is Sean Penn?
There is a very attractive blonde in the show. I don't know if that.
Well, I don't know. Oh no, David froze. David, you dead, man? Don't, David. Oh no, David. Well, we're sort of near the end of the program anyway. We only have about 3 minutes left. There was a young Kate Blanchett in a flashback played by Leia George. Okay, let's do a quick little rundown of what I'm watching. English Teacher is the funniest show of the last 5 months. English Teacher is kind of perfect. It's funnier than Abbott Elementary. 2 very, very different shows. So I don't want to disparage Abbott Elementary, but English Teacher is awesome. That show is kind of perfect. I'm going to take David off because I feel bad. Oh, there he's gone. Okay, maybe he'll come back. Tulsa King, like we started, and not the best. The franchise is genius television writing. It's like Veep for movies. If you liked Veep, you will love you'll love the franchise. It's hilarious. And if you've ever worked in movies or around movies or anything like that, it's kind of accurate. This past episode was absolutely hysterical. Shrinking, like we talked about. The Menendez Brothers show leaves me wanting, it's disgusting, but it's good. It's really good television. I think I'd have no idea what to believe out of the story other than, good God, it is hard to watch. And Javier Bardem is disgusting. I don't know if I can ever watch him in anything else again. I don't know. That's how disturbed I am by Javier Bardem as Jose Menendez. Somebody somewhere comes back on Sunday. MK Songbird, boom. Leo saying really enjoy franchise. It's awesome. It is really, really good. Leo, yes, English Teacher was great. Did he pick the right man? I mean, it leaves a good thing open for hopefully a season 2. And yes, BHAL 26 Shrinking is fire this season. If you guys haven't watched Nobody Wants This, do. It's probably the best like rom-com show of the year. And I don't know if it's even close kind of a situation. Whereas English Teacher is just a straight up comedy. That show is geniusly written. It's awesome. David said his internet cut out. So I'm going to end the show because we're at 5 again. Daredevil Born Again. I'm here for it. When is that coming out, Kate Van D? Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you to Wiley for the generous Streamlabs or for the generous super chat. You guys can support the show. You'll see links down in there that help support this program and keeps David and I on the air. And our wives let us do this. There's gonna be a lot more videos coming out for March 4th for Daredevil. Love it. There's a lot more videos coming out on this channel. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. Roxy Stryer and I are going to talk about grief and loss next week. She's coming on and probably talk a little bit about TV as well. I'm going to try to get Sinead DeFries on here. And until then, I'll do a pick of the week. Bummed we missed David. Go watch Detroiters on Netflix. If you never had a chance to watch Detroiters when it was hard to find on streaming, it's now on Netflix. I think it is maybe top 5 funniest shows of all time. 2 seasons. It's Tim Robinson. It's Sam Richardson. 2 of the funniest guys that work today. We'll be back in a couple weeks. David says he's sorry. Not sure what happened. We love you all. Choose positivity. It's an active choice. Call somebody, text them, tell them you love them. It matters. It's ways to love than hate. Find the good. I'll see you when I see you. And now I will just talk until the stream ends. Everybody go watch them. Oh, put